All right, B-Slade, the microphone is hot. And as we talked about in the first break, Rock Royalty in the Muay Thai Metal Studios again today. Hour number one, we are sitting down with drummer Dave Rath from the band Heaven's Edge. Dave, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. It's Friday. Oh, should I say that? No, probably not because it's taped. Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's okay, man. It is Friday. We record on a Friday. You'll be hearing it on a Monday, but we do record on a Friday.
Oh, great. All right. Yeah, I'm doing great. Friday afternoon. I'm psyched. Heading into the weekend. Got a great show tonight at Madison Square Garden. I'm going to see a Baltimore band called Turnstile. And I'm psyched for their success. It's great for Baltimore. And, yeah, I'm happy to be talking to you guys. Love Baltimore. Many years, played a lot of great shows down there, from Hammerjacks to most recently at Merriweather Post. So a lot of love and affection for the fans down there and all the people of that great city. It's a rock and roll town through and through.
We appreciate that, Dave. And a little bird told me that you may have signed the band Turnstile.
I did, yeah. I was the head of A&R for Roadrunner Records, and I worked there for 21 years, and I signed a bunch of stuff, Turnstile being one of them. And now I have my own label called Blue Grape Records here in New York City. And most recently signed a band called Code Orange, who are also in the same, I would say, universe as Turnstile. Yeah, so
that's cool.
Some of your listeners might know them as well.
That's very cool. So you've been on the rock and roll side and the business side. That's interesting.
Yep, been on the business side for quite a while, yeah. I've worked with everybody from Nickelback to Slipknot, Megadeth, Gojira, Killswitch Engage, Lenny Kravitz, Leonard Skinner. I mean, the list goes on. Yeah, I've really had a charmed life, I would say, a real charmed life, because I get to do both. I get to, see how things work on the business side, and when the market calls for us, I get to get back behind the drums and live that life like
that is cool.
Like we used to. Yeah, it's great. I'm really lucky.
That is really cool. Well, I tell you what, let's talk about Heaven's Edge real quick, because I know you have a brand new album out, but let's take a ride on the Wayback Machine real quick, Dave. Give us a brief synopsis of how it came together way back in 87 or 88, whenever it was. And I'll, go ahead and I'll let you talk, and then we'll bring it back up to the future.
Yeah, you're talking about the original founding of the band. We were Mark and Reggie, the singer and guitar player, were in competing bands down in the South Jersey scene. I think Reggie was in a band called White Fox.
Okay.
Mark was in a band called Network. Network was really a cover band. White Fox was, one of the premier local bands that was playing around the scene, that was doing original music. And Reggie was fast becoming a, what we call a bar star at the time. He was just such a shredder guitar player, and he was just felt like he was like the next big guy coming up. And Mark and Reg just started writing songs together on the side, and they decided, after they wrote a few songs, to put a band together. And they really just put the word out that they were auditioning players. And I actually was in school at the time at Villanova, which is down in the Philadelphia area near South Jersey.
Okay.
And I mean, I was completely not a part of that scene at all. But I had gone to see White Fox a few times, and I just somehow got a hold of Reg, and I was like, hey, you mind if I audition? And at the time he was like, I don't know who you are. And, I had like short hair and I was in college, and, I just went down and played with them, and the chemistry was real good and felt great. They had already told me that they had George lined up to play bass and a guy named Steve Parry on guitar. And we basically woodshedded for, once the lineup was secure, we woodshedded for about 6 or 8 months, rehearsing many hours, many nights a week, until we really felt like we were really honed. And when we got out there and played our first show, it just felt like we were a seasoned band who had been playing together for like a decade, even though we were brand new.
Nice.
And for whatever reason at the time, at that time, Cinderella had just gotten signed, Britney Fox was signed, Bon Jovi, Skid Row were like floating around that scene and showing up at the bars, and we just walked right into it, fully formed, And in no time, we were setting attendance records all over the tri-state area down in like Delaware and Pennsylvania and New Jersey. We started playing in Baltimore as well, and North Jersey, and in a short period of time, we had some label attention, and we eventually signed a deal with Columbia Records. And unfortunately, right after we signed, there was like a crazed gunman showed up at one of our gigs at one of the bars in Philly because he got into a fight with the bouncer, and he just started shooting randomly a shotgun, and he hit George, our bass player. And
Holy
George
cow.
it was a big deal, and George was laid up in the hospital for weeks, and it just, everything stopped for us. We waited until George was out of the hospital and before we went in to make our record. And in the interim, after we got signed, the Columbia Records had changed a lot of their personnel, and I can tell you this firsthand as somebody who works at a record company. When a new president comes in, he makes it his own thing.
Right.
And when Donnie Einer came into Atlantic, he really was having none of the bands that were already signed there, and that would include Rough House and who are Philly band also, and Warrant and Brittany Fox and us. Like, he just wanted to clean house, get rid of all the, what we call the hair bands now, and turn the page and look more towards the most recently signed Alice in Chains, who are one of the greatest bands ever. So I don't fault Columbia for getting behind that, but we just kind of got lost in that shuffle there. We put out our album out, and unfortunately, we really didn't get a lot of support from the label. And it was crazy because we were playing at packed clubs, like everywhere we went. We had songs all over the radio. Things were going great for us, but the writing was on the wall, and we had like a meteoric rise and a meteoric descent.
It happens like that.
It came up and it went down, and look, I mean, at the end of the day, the truth is, I say this to the guys in the band all the time, we're really lucky because, we didn't like grind it out for another 5 years fighting against a losing situation there. And instead, we got our lives together. We remained close friends. We were able to reunite once our kids were a little bit older. We had our lives like fully intact, and we were able to look with some maturity at the band. It's like kind of like going back to school when you're an adult and you're paying for it, maybe, like
you're a little more serious.
You take a lot more serious. You appreciate what you had, and I just felt like once we reunited again years later, that we played with the exact fire that we did when we were younger, but we did it with a lot more, I don't know, I guess like the pressure of like trying to get signed and trying to fit into a culture and all that stuff. All that was out the window. We did it because we loved playing with each other, and we enjoyed playing the songs, and we got right back into it. And, I say to the band all the time, like, we won, man. Like, we get to peek behind the curtain, play Rockstar when the time is right for us, but we still have great lives. We're still great friends, and we have, we really are lucky that way. So we really value what we have, and when we play, I can tell you this, it means everything to us, and we give it 110%, and we do that when we play live, and we did that on this new album because we're in a position to do so now. So
that's awesome.
It means everything to us.
Good stuff, Dave. Listen, we're going to jump into a song here. This is new stuff. I know we were going the Wayback Machine, but you're a good talker, man, and you went a little long, but that's totally cool.
Sorry.
No, it's totally cool. Let's do What Could Have Been.
I mean, with the story that you just told, what could have been?
Exactly.
What a fitting piece for that, for that story that you just told us.
I'll tell you about that after the song, about the video and like what the video means to us and why.
You got it. That is perfect. It's a perfect segue and a perfect intro. You're sitting down with Dave Rath, longtime drummer from the band Heaven's Edge. This one from the brand new CD. It's called What Could Have Been at 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide.
I wanna be. Don't wanna live my life in dreams and distant memories. The promise is here right now, up and down that road and back again. The story needs time to grow. You can't read the last page to see just how it ends. Can you take me just a little bit higher and show me what could have been? Can you tell me was it all the wire? And would you do it all again? You know that I'll be the one when all of the hurt is said and done. Can you take me just a little bit higher and show me what could have been? Don't ask me how, but I know these roads like the back of my hands. I drove them all with you, but with you they all lead home again. The priceless is the touch I feel when I'm lying next to you. I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause it's all right where it's supposed to be, buried inside me. Can you take me just a little bit higher and show me what could have been? Can you tell me was it all the wire? And would you do it all again? You know that I'll be the one when all of the hurt is said and done. Can you take me just a little bit higher and show me what could have been? I'd do it all again for you. We could start this whole thing over.
97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock, worldwide, the station your mother warned you about, and a band called Heaven's Edge. The song, What Could Have Been. Why are you hearing Heaven's Edge? If you're just tuning in, sitting down with drummer Dave Rath from the band's Heaven's Edge. Dave, tell us about that song based on what you told us before the break.
Well, interestingly enough, the song itself, when Mark wrote the lyrics, it was really about what life might have been had the band had more success, maybe financially. But it wasn't really a song about regret, like, oh, I wish my life was like, that of a more famous rock star. It was just more about like, well, my life could have been like that. It could have been like this. It's just like fate and destiny plays into people's lives in ways that you don't realize until you're able to look back on them years later.
Agreed.
But so when we shot the video, we basically just did a live video at a place called Brooklyn Bowl in Philadelphia. We sold the place out. It was fantastic. And when I got the first cut of the video, there was a shot at the end of the video of the band like on stage. You see a lot of bands do this where they take photos with the crowd behind them.
Sure.
And I was like, you know what? A buddy of mine took a still shot of that same exact frame in the video, and I was like, we should cut to the still shot at the end of the video. And then when I saw that, I was like, wow, that looks like a storybook ending. And so we decided to put like a book at the beginning of the video and then like a book at the end of the video. So at the beginning of the video, you see a book open,
right?
And the book is called What Could Have Been. And at the end of the video, as the book closes, it's our new album cover. So it's sort of like, it really gives you a feeling of, what the band had been through. And this is what could have been if, we had gone on to make a full-time career out of that. And it was finally our chance to make a video that demonstrated the live show that we never really got to show in a video before, the way that we wanted it done. And then finally, about it, with George, I mentioned earlier that George was shot. Unfortunately, George actually passed away a couple years ago, our bass player.
Okay.
He had lung cancer, and it was real tragic because he was a very dear friend of mine. And we were a very personally close band, and it really hurt us. And so we have a new bass player, Jaron, who is a Philly kid. He's amazing. He also plays in Lynch Mob. And the video is, in a way, like, made us all really realize, like, wow, like, George would have really appreciated this. So it's a very emotional video for us, but it's also a good time and a great rock and roll video. So we're real proud of it.
Hey, and I'm proud of you guys, man. That's a great story, Dave. I mean, really good stuff. But listen, I think it's time we hear more stuff from the brand new CD, because we got a couple minutes. We're going to talk on the other side of this, and then we're going to hear more Heaven's Edge. But what do you want to do second? You tell us, and we'll roll it for you.
Well, when the album comes out, fortunately, the way technology is today, you kind of get a sense of what people are listening to and what they like, instead of the label telling you, which I do sometimes,
right?
What you should like, right?
All
so
right.
In this case, the song Beautiful Disguise seems to be raising its hand a little bit. People are digging that song and listening to it a lot. So why don't we give that a spin? And, it's one of our, it's also a band favorite song on the album too. So we dig it.
Sounds real good. You heard it from the horse's mouth. That is Dave Rath, longtime drummer from the band Heaven's Edge. He said, roll Beautiful Disguise. You got it here on the Muay Thai Metal Show at 97underground.com, Baltimore's Pure Rock Worldwide.
I always told you that the rest wouldn't understand.
97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. A song called Beautiful Disguise. The band, none other than Heaven's Edge. We are sitting down with the drummer from Heaven's Edge, Mr. Dave Rath. Dave is in the studio. Dave, more stories for us. Come on, bring it to us.
I have a lot, obviously. I think that for a band who never really had a lot of commercial success, we went through a lot. Look, a lot of bands go through things. Life can be challenging, especially when you try to live a life as an entertainer. It's the Wild West out there. It's not a structured life. And so we had a lot of things happen to us, some good, some bad, and we lived the life. And, like I said, when you're together as long as we are, there's just so many things that happen to you. We've been through just about all of it.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Talk about the new album. How's it going? I mean, how's the reception? I'll let you talk.
The new album for us is something was kind of being kicked around for the past few years. And when we finally decided to do it, interestingly enough, like the song, these aren't like old songs that have been like, sometimes a band, if they haven't made an album for a long time, they have these songs parked in the garage for 10 or 15 years, however long it is. These are all new. Nice. And that's what I love about it, because this isn't like, the band there's a lot of momentum creatively right now with the band. And it felt like, we can do this. And as I mentioned earlier, I am an A&R person in my other life. So, I do make records for a living. So, putting this album together for me was just the greatest labor of love ever. I brought all my A&R connections and all my A&R skills to the table, working with guys that I love on material that I think is fantastic.
That's cool.
And it just, so getting it to sound right and everything, I knew we were going to make a great record. And I do feel that we did, and I say that objectively. I'm around a lot of music. I see a lot of stuff out there, and I know for what this is, it's one of the best out there right now.
I got
and the reception, the critical reception on it has been unbelievable. It really has. People have said so many kind things about the album. It's getting radio play in multiple markets. It's streaming real well, and as a result, we're getting gig offers more than we could manage right now. And it's exciting. And the thing that's exciting about it is we're going to do more,
Right.
And, it's not like, we just did this, that was fun. We feel a whole new chapter of the band is unfolding right now, and we're eager to do more, and we're inspired to do more. We want to play, we want to write even better songs. And, we just love being around the people. We love the new generation of folks that are out there that, that we're meeting now, or we're bumping into some of the people that we worked with years ago. And the whole thing, man, it feels great. As far as the album goes, we recorded most of it in Philadelphia and South Jersey. I worked with on the drums a guy named Arthur Rizek, who did a band. He's a producer who's done bands like Power Trip, who some of your audience might know. Great producer. He did all the drums for me. A guy named Dave Piron recorded the instruments in New Jersey, and we had this fellow named Jacob Bunton, who is an accomplished songwriter and producer in his own right. I think he was the singer in Steven Adler's band at one point.
Okay.
He's just a super talent who's written some huge pop songs, big stuff. I mean, as big as it gets. But he's also like a fucking metalhead, and so he came on board to help us shape things in a way that I thought would keep things modern, and gave us like a supercharge in the studio vocally. He produced a lot of the vocals with Mark. So I think we have like a world-class production, a world-class album here with all the people that we worked with. And I think the album reflects that. And of course, their albums are great.
Dave, I got something for you, buddy. Dave, you just played M3, and since we're talking to a Baltimore, Maryland crowd, give us a rundown. How did they receive the new album at M3? What was your experience there? I know Ron skipped over it a little bit, but go ahead and talk back on that M3 experience just a few weeks ago.
Best thing about M3 for us this year, in addition to playing on the big stage, which we love, was we did a release party back at the hotel. at the end of the day. So we went on at like midnight.
Wow.
And it was a sweaty, packed ballroom with people who have been drinking and partying and rocking all day long. And they came with a ball of energy that we haven't felt since our early days playing the small clubs.
That's pretty cool.
And, man, it was like sweaty rock and roll, just as much fun as you could ever have up there. And the Baltimore crowd came in like I felt like the whole room was, 18 years old again. Everybody, us, the fans. Probably were a lot of 18-year-olds there, by the way.
Right.
We met some people after the show. And so that experience for us was amazing. We signed a bunch of stuff, sold some vinyl, and, got to hang out with some of the other bands who came out to watch us. Johnny Kelly, who's a good buddy of mine, who used to be in Typo Negative, the drummer for A Quiet Riot, was just making me nervous watching me play the whole time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Robbie Crane, who's a buddy of mine, he played in Rat for a while. He's in Warrant. It was such a great hang. It's such a great party. And M3 is one of my favorite events ever.
He was walking around there? I didn't even see him.
Yeah, he was around. He was watching from the side of the stage, making me nervous, of course. I made a couple records with him over the years. But yeah, that event leading up to the M3 show was amazing. And the feedback that we got, we just felt it firsthand in that room that night. People came there because it was a record release party. It wasn't just like a gig. And they showed up guns blazing, ready to rock. And the feedback that we felt, because we were so close to the crowd, because it was such a small room, was like overwhelming. And
yeah, that's cool.
Man, we could have played for 3 hours. It was
Dave,
going on that late at night.
Yeah, that was great.
It reminded me of the old days.
Okay, that's cool. No, Dave, you know how cell phones are. I lost you for a split second, but it's fine.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Yeah, listen, we got to rock and roll, Dave. We got one more song to do. We're going to do When the Lights Go Down. That also from the brand new CD. But before you go, Dave, because you've been around for a long time, and especially from the area you're from, the Philly, South Jersey thing and all that, have you ever hung out with CC DeVille from Poison?
I have, but not in